Another question that was asked in the comment section was in regards to showing an example of puff embroidery. I mentioned it in a prior video, so I thought it would be fun to give an example of puff embroidery that could be used for our back to school crowd. A lot of the young ones wear their ball caps, especially those involved in athletics or even the college collegiate level. They use the puff embroidery on the hats to make a regular embroidery design stand out and shine. So the first puff embroidery example that I'm going to show we'll do over here on the 6 needle, the PR655E, the Entrepreneur. Now when we do the other example of puff embroidery, we're actually going to move over to our single needle 4x4 machine to show you that yes, puff embroidery can be done on a flat single needle embroidery machine as well. Now I've already put the design on the flash drive for the 6 needle machine, so let's go ahead and pull that up. I have quite a few files on there. So here it is. We're going to select this letter D. All right, the machine already knows that I have my hat cap driver on, so we're going to go ahead and set that, and then we're going to finish it out, and it automatically turns it upside down for me because it knows I have my hat driver on, which is really cool. Now I'm going to use my laser positioning to let me know exactly where I'm going to be putting this design, so that it gives me an opportunity to move it down as far as I possibly can, and I just did. So we'll go back to centered where the design is going to be. There are 2 colors with this particular design. The first color I'm going to do in black. The black is a flat regular stitch. The second color I'm going to do in pink. It's a letter D. So the first color actually gives the highlight of the letter, and then the puff part is going to be pink. Now when you're doing puff embroidery, the thing about the puff is you're putting a layer of foam up under these stitches. Now the puff embroidery design has been specially digitized to be raised. It's a row of satin stitches that are kind of loosely stitched so that the puff foam can go up under it and give it some loft or make it stand out a good bit from the regular surface of the embroidery on the hat. So what we're going to do is let this go ahead and stitch the first section of stitches, and then we'll show the foam that we're going to use up under the embroidery and also show you how it's placed. Now that the outside perimeter of the letter D has stitched out, it's time to move to the actual puff part. Now, I mentioned before that I wanted the inside to be pink. Now here is the actual foam that is used, or that I'm using for my puff embroidery. Now these say foam sheets, they're 6 by 9 in size, and they're in varying colors. This, I'm not 100% sure, but I very well could have picked this up from Walmart, and I know the Dollar Tree even sells sheets of foam. So if you're wanting to try this particular project, you can easily find foam sheets at Walmart, at Dollar Tree. You can even find them at Michael's and Joann's Fabrics. Hobby Lobby, I know for a fact, even has foam sheets a lot. They have a really big foam section. So if you'll notice, it's not super thick at all, actually. Relatively thin. It's not super thick. Now, the thing behind doing the puff embroidery, when you do it, you want to be sure that the color of the foam that you use matches the color of your thread. And there's a reason behind that. As I have found, when you're doing the embroidery, there are instances where the foam may peek through the stitches. So that being the case, you want to be sure that it matches so as to make the cleanup of doing the embroidery after it's finished much easier on you. So here's just one little layer of foam. I was told that you can use anything from 3 to 6 millimeters thick with this particular design. Different manufacturers or different digitizers of their designs may have a different thickness. So check with the digitizer or the website. See if they have anything noted on their site saying that you should use this thick of foam on your project, or just if they have nothing, then I would suggest just a simple little piece of foam. So what we're going to do is lay this over the top of the design. Now I am going to assume that you probably could spray adhesive it down, but I'm going to actually hold it in place until the stitching actually starts out, and then once it does, I'm just going to let it hold itself, because when I did it over there it held tight, so hopefully it'll hold tight over here too. This is my first time actually doing it on a hat. So I've done the little kitty design, but to actually do it on the surface of the hat is my first time with you guys. So we're gonna see if it works together. That's the whole point, so that you can see how it works, if it's gonna work out really well, and how it's gonna turn out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and let this start with the pink thread. I don't care how many times I stand here, I don't think I'll ever be tired of watching something stitch out on these embroidery machines. Well, our puff embroidery is done, so let's take a look. As you can see, it's stitched out, and it has some jump stitches that we're going to go ahead and cut before we remove the foam. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take it out of the cap driver. I'm going to remove the stabilizer from the inside of the hat if you're away. Put my sweatband back in place, and then let's get our scissors. Cut these jump stitches. And now let's remove our foam. All you do is just peel it right off, just like tearaway stabilizer. Look at how cute that is already. And there you have it. Now with the puff, notice it is raised above the surface of the hat. It stands out. It has a really nice look to it. It's just all around a really nice hat. I love it, even though my hair looks crazy sticking out from up under it. So this is the puff embroidery on a hat, right? Now that we've done the hat, let's move over to the single needle machine and show you some really cool puff embroidery over there. Now over here, this puff embroidery project is going to be a little bit different. What I've decided to do was hoop some fabric for a baby's burp cloth, and what we're going to do is do a really cute teddy bear pattern holding some balloons with puff embroidery. Now this particular design I got from online at embroiderylibrary.com, and they have quite a few little puff embroidery designs that you can use for kids. I know one is a butterfly, a whole circus of teddy bears, as a matter of fact. So they have some really nice embroidery designs. This one though was one of the simplest with the teddy bears. And this is a teddy bear floating and holding some balloons. So what I'm going to do to keep the video from being an hour long, I'm going to go ahead and stitch out the teddy bear. And then what we'll do is revisit the teddy bear when it's time to do the actual puff embroidery. I'm not 100% sure how well you were able to see the actual application of the foam on the PR655E 6-needle machine because I had the camera backed out a little ways. So what I decided to do was get it positioned over here at the 4x4 machine so that you can see a bit clearer actually putting the foam on the design. The way this particular design stitches out, it does the entire design and then it leaves the spaces where the foam is actually going to be applied. And I'm going to use the exact same foam that I showed you over there at the other machine. This is what we're going to use on this design. Now it's ready to stitch out the green balloon, so I'll go ahead and set this right here over the top of the green balloon and we'll press go. That's the green, so we're going to peel this off. I'm going to cut that jump stitch. As you see, it stands up quite nicely from the rest of that green. So let's change to the yellow. And now we're going to put the yellow up under the foot. And now the blue. What I'm going to do is leave the brown on, but use the black. And hopefully what will happen is it will show you an example of what happens if you use a different color foam under a different colored thread. All right. Zoom out a little bit. Let's take this off. And I'm going to trim these jump stitches first. And here is our puff embroidery on the 4x4 hoop. As you can see from me turning it to the side, it definitely stands out completely different from the regular embroidery. It gives it a really nice 3-dimension, something super cute for a baby bib or a decorative item in the baby's room. Another thing I wanted to point out, and hopefully I'll have it close enough where you'll be able to see it, is when you use a different color under your thread. Say for instance, we did the brown under the black. Notice here how the brown foam pokes out from his nose there. You can see it. Now that's a common thing that happens with foam, which is why they suggest use the same color under the thread. However, if you need to, you can use the edge of scissors, or you can use a pin, from what I've been told. Let's see if I can show it to you. And you can use that to poke it back in, and it's going to be kind of difficult because I'm doing this with the camera directly in front of it, so it's going to be kind of hard. Sorry. All right. So supposedly you can poke that back in some kind of way. I've done it on the hat, and you want to be careful not to get your stitches cut by using something sharp. But that is one downside to using the puff, especially if you don't have the same color foam as your thread. So keep that in mind as well, that there very well could be pieces poking out from the others, but because I use the same color foam as the top thread, it makes it difficult to see, and I don't have to tuck in anything. Other than that, using the puff under the thread gives it a really cool 3-dimensional effect. That's a lot of fun. So there you have it. You can do the puffy embroidery with the foam underneath the stitches. Keep in mind though, when you do the puff embroidery, you do have to have an embroidery design that's made for the 3D puff with the foam underneath. It allows the satin stitches to raise a little bit and give it a little more lift. So these designs were actually created for the puff, to put the foam underneath to allow the stitches to raise up higher than the regular stitches in the embroidery. It's not hard to do at all. You just have to make sure you have the right design, and then you can tackle the project. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I really definitely hope that you take advantage of being able to give it a shot to see how you like it. The design on the hat is an alphabet that's digitized by JJ Digitizing. He is on our Facebook Embroidery Boss group. If you're a member of Embroidery Boss, you can look up JJ Digitizing. He also has a website, and I'll link the website below in the description box. Also, this design is one of many that's available on embroiderylibrary.com. I'll leave a link to this particular design, but they do have many others on their website that you can use to do 3D embroidery with the puffy foam underneath on your 4x4 hoop. So again, I thank you guys for joining me today for such a really fun project. It's been an awesome week. If you haven't had a moment to check it out, we've done a pencil pouch that we embroidered on the Brother 6-needle machine. Then Tuesday we switched it up a little and we moved over to the Brother 4x4 embroidery machine, and there we did a special in the hoop project with a cute little Crayola pouch, zippered pouch and line to boot. So be sure to check out both of those videos to see how we were able to get that done to kick off our back to school week. So you guys, I hope you're able to get some really nice hats for the youngsters. If you do your puff embroidery, whether it be on a hat, whether it be on a book bag, or whether it be on just a simple design, shoot me a picture. I love to see your projects. We can share pictures of the projects on some of our upcoming videos, and I definitely enjoy seeing that you are benefiting from the videos. Speaking of which, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. It lets me know that I'm doing my job. And if you don't mind, please subscribe. We do have regular videos that come out. Our Tuesdays are for Tutoring Tuesdays or Teaching Tuesdays. And then Thursdays, we have our live Thinking Thursdays, where we put our thinking caps on and we discuss a subject or a topic that's relevant to our field of embroidery, sewing, or crafts, or just wanting to check in and say hi. Also, on Sundays, we also do a live evening on Sundays. So both Thursday and Sunday is about 7 p.m. On Sundays, it's just basically a kickback section. You can ask any questions, I give answers, and we really have an enjoyable time. So, all in all, I really enjoy you guys taking your time to tune in and watch our videos. However, one of the main reasons why I do these and what I really want for you is for us all to have happy embroidering.
Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to view other videos in our tutorial playlist. And click here for the next video that you should find helpful. Thank you.